Welcome. Time for another Doors of Trithius development blog update. There's a few random topics I want to talk about today, and then we'll get into the weeds a bit and show you behind the scenes on what's been going on with some changes to creature behavior / creature AI. So if you're just interested in the AI, you can skip ahead to that part. Okay, first I wanted to mention dungeon layouts. This is partially in response to BlindiRL. He recently did a playthrough. Thank you for that. And one of his complaints was that the layouts in the game currently, the way the rooms are connected, feel very similar. So typically I like to reply to feedback in the game with patches, because talk is cheap. It's a lot easier to say something than it is to actually implement. But I wanted to say I hear your complaints. I watched your stream. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the playthrough. And there are some new dungeon layouts coming. There's a lot I want to do with that. It's partially, like many things with the game, it's waiting for other pieces. But now that we're getting into these Gremlin Fortresses, there'll definitely be some new layouts. What do I have next on my list here? Oh, Mac port. Mac players want to play the game. I now have a Mac laptop. This is a 2013 MacBook Pro. I've never owned a Mac in my life. I tried to get the game emulating so I could port it over to Mac. I can't. Macintosh does not like to be emulated, so I needed to get a laptop. This is an old MacBook Pro. I don't know what it's going to be here, but the game's in Java, so it should be ready for Mac. It shouldn't be that hard when I finally open up the freaking laptop and get it going. So Mac port is coming. Maybe Linux. I'm kind of afraid of you Linux people because there'll be weird bugs I don't foresee. But who knows? Maybe it won't be a problem. Linux after Mac. Next topic, the next patch. So I had wanted to do patches every 2 weeks, and I'm kind of vacillating on this. I want to say there's a big patch coming, a lot of content. When this YouTube channel goes quiet, that's actually a good thing. It means there's a lot of work getting done. But one of the biggest complaints players have is the save file breaking, because they'll be in the middle of a run and then a patch comes and then they can't load their old save file, and players really don't like playing on an old version. They feel like they're missing content. So this patch might become in 2 parts, or I'm not sure yet. If you have any thoughts on breaking up patches, I'd be interested to know, because I love the momentum. I love continually putting out updates, but also, do I want to keep breaking all your save files? I don't know. Those are just some random things in my mind. What I want to talk about today is creature behavior. Let me hide this so it's not annoying. Okay. What we're looking at right now is a little sneak preview of the new Gremlin Fortresses. And this is a new creature. He doesn't have his art yet. I don't know if you can see. This is programmer art. I just put a little terribly drawn bag in his hand. His art will come. But the interesting thing here is what this creature does. He is the Gremlin Looter. So he is a new type of behavior. His default state is he actually will ignore the player. And we can show, I'll type a command here, show state. So state is the current behavior they're doing. So I've actually hit this looter before. He's in a flee state. Let me spawn a new one. Gremlin Looter. So he starts in the state loot, and let me give myself an item. And the thing I love about this is when he's in this state, if he finds any items, he'll run to them and he'll pick them up. And we can see here, Gremlin Looter picked up nearby loot. I'm planning for as well his art to change. So if he has like a bag in his hand, it'll like fill up. And then he just pieces out of there. He just pieces. He's not he doesn't have the same behavior as other creatures. And I love this. I think the game needs a lot more of this, because if every creature just chases you immediately and attacks you immediately, I think that's a lot less interesting than some creatures get annoyed over time. Some creatures attack if their allies are being attacked. Some creatures have different goals. This creature, he wants to collect loot, and he'll keep running around collecting loot, and you can kill him. And all the loot he has, he'll pick up, even if it's from some other event in the dungeon. He'll like run in and pick it up, and it's been hilarious. And if we hit him, he also moves to a new state, which is flee, and it calculates the distance to the player, and he will run away. If he's cornered, he will sometimes attack back. There we go. So that is the Gremlin Looter. That's a bit of a demo. All right, so what's going on behind the scenes? Let me show you a picture I have prepared. So this, I'm hoping, makes some sense to both programmers and non-programmers. I'm sorry if it doesn't. This is what we call a state machine, and it's a simple way of implementing AI in video games, where you have a piece of data, you call it the state, and each creature has a state, and that determines what they are doing currently. So you can imagine a creature sleeping, that's its state, or a creature is wandering, that's its state. And this is not a terrible approximation for what we do in real life. If you can imagine, like when you go about your life, you're typically doing one thing. So you are going to work, or you're hungry and you're looking at what's in the fridge. There's like typically a state. And in a state machine, how we represent this is with transitions. So if a creature was currently wandering and he sees an enemy, he can transition to the chase state. If a creature's hunting, if a creature's chasing and then he loses sight, this is currently in Doors of Trithias, he'll go from the chase state to the hunt state. And hunting just means he's looking at where you last were. And a creature in the hunt state, if he suddenly sees you, can move to the chase state, or if he gets tired of hunting, he moves to the wander state. So you can just imagine it's like they're moving between this network. Pretty simple. Now, the problem that I ran into recently is this gets hard to modify. Let me show you something. If we go to... So here is what this looks like in code. If we look at the code, this is the Ravager. Spoilers, don't look at this if you want to know how the Ravager works. And this is where we're defining all these states. We define them as a set of rules. So when he's in this state, if this happens and this happens, then do this. If he's in this state, do this. And these start to get quite unwieldy and large. And as I was adding more states, for example, the one we just saw, this new flee state and this new loot state, where he's hungry for loot, I realized this is redefining a huge new file like this for every creature with tweaks would be a huge problem. So there had to be a way to take this concept, the state machine, but then we can tweak it for every creature. So one creature doesn't chase, and another creature maybe doesn't hunt. Or maybe another creature, he gets a wander node, and he gets the loot node, and he gets some other node. And not having to think about this every time was what I wanted, to do it in a modular way. So that was the problem. And that's what I feel like is now solved or partially solved. And I want to show what that looks like. First, just talking about AI, I want to show something. I hope this is not too all over the place. I'm trying to get it out. But there's a game. There's a different game. There's Age of Empires, RTS game. I've looked at the AI in this game. When you're playing this RTS, you're building all these units, you're attacking the enemy. How does the enemy decide what to do, what units to build, when to build a building, what's going on? Well, it uses, here's an example AI script. It also uses rules. And this is this kind of thing taken to the extreme, where even beyond state, they just have like tons of flags. Hundreds and hundreds, this is thousands of lines, the AI. So it's saying, if this happens and we're currently in a dock, if our strategic idea right now is something, and if our current age in the game is a dark age, and we're in this game time and this, then set these values, do this thing. This has a lot of flexibility, and the Age of Empires AI is really good. But for something like the Doors of Trithias, this letting a set of rules grow and grow and grow is a huge problem. Like, I'm already finding it hard to keep all of this in the mental cache, just with this much smaller Ravager. Well, look what this rule system becomes as you continue to expand it. Like, so many transitions, not easy to work with. So what's the solution where we can keep adding complexity? We can have cool behaviors for all our creatures, and we don't have to define tons of rules for each of them. And I will show you what that looks like now. I'm going to look up our gremlin looter. So here's our gremlin looter. And sorry, one sec while I find the file here. He has what I'm calling a behavior package. I thought I had this open already. Forgive me while I jump around here. So this is what I'm calling a behavior package. And a behavior package lets you define states that a creature can do independent, and you just plug in whatever packages you want. And the packages have enough logic to know how to connect to other states. So for this creature, we are saying flee. This gremlin leader can flee, and he can loot. We give it some parameters. And the cool thing here is all those transitions and everything that can happen is happening automatic. And so when you're working on a creature and thinking about its behavior, you don't have to consider every single possibility. You consider the packages you want. Where I'll show a more standard monster behavior package. Here's the gremlin grunt. This is a more standard package. So here you can see we've defined, we're enabling for the gremlin grunt, a package type hunt, a package type chase, package type wander, and instead of making some giant file with a ton of rules, it's a layer of abstraction. I talk about abstractions a lot on this channel, but it's a layer of abstraction that's at the exact level that we're thinking about. We don't want to have to think about every possibility. We just want to say, I want him to hunt, I want this guy to chase, I want him to wander, and we give it a few parameters, and the thing all pieces itself together. And that has been the goal with this game since the start, is to make it extremely modular so that I am not tripping over my own feet. And as the game develops, it's easy to continually add new creatures, new behavior, new abilities, new room types, new dungeons, new everything. Like it can keep growing and growing and growing, and supporting itself is not going to be, maintaining previous stuff isn't going to be a problem. And each of these packages are defined in code themselves. So when we say this creature is going to chase, it goes and it builds all these rules. There's all these rules in the back end that are getting added, but you don't have to think about them when you're defining a new behavior. You just think about what you want. So we've got flee, we've got loot, chase, hunt. There's some more behaviors I'm really excited to add, like sleuth, or move within a pack. So you can imagine wolves where they're chasing you, but they try to stay nearby, or a surround behavior where they will chase you, but they will try to always come in from different sides. As the difficulty increases, I would really like some of the difficulty to not be purely from the enemies being stat sticks, but from them having difficult behavior, from them being smart, surrounding you, blocking doorways, that kind of thing. I don't want this to go too long. We're already at 12 minutes. I wanted to show off this behavior. I'm really excited about it. It's going to allow very easy additions of new and interesting behaviors. And I really hope I can surprise you guys in future updates with some interesting behavior, some behavior that seems intelligent. And you will see some of this in the upcoming update, which is going to be focused on the Gremlin Fortresses. They're no longer going to be just sitting in castles. They're going to have their own dungeons. With a lot of new art, new creatures, new entities. You can even look at the side here, some spoilers for some of the new creatures. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Next update, we'll see. Might be divided into 2, or it might be coming up shortly. That's it. Thank you.